How's it going, guys? I hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today just with a real quick video, guys. Wasn't planning to do this, but I felt that I wanted to do it. So I got to check out the new Forspoken demo on the PlayStation 5, which basically went live and was announced at the Game Awards this year. This is a game I have very much been on the fence on. When it was first revealed a couple of years ago, it looked absolutely amazing, and it was probably one of my most kind of anticipated games. Really seemed to show the power of the PlayStation 5. It had me really excited. I like the concept, you know, this kind of isekai sort of story where you play as main character Frey Holland. You're from New York, you get teleported, transported to a fantasy world called Athia, which is basically sort of run by these tyrannical tantas. These are sorceresses that you have to face throughout the story. So the world, the story, you know, it kind of had me really interested. The parkour and the traversal in that initial trailer looked really cool, but as we've been seeing more and more and shown more and more with trailer reveals, I feel that the developers and also Sony really haven't done a good job of selling this game. So I thought, okay, check out the demo. Maybe the demo will change my mind on it. Maybe the demo will make me actually more excited about it. I wanted to get hands-on. I wanted to see how it felt and just get a bit of a sense of it. Now, the demo took me about 50 minutes. You could probably do speed run it in about 30 minutes probably, but it gives you access to an open world segment of the game where you have, I think, 5 objectives. I think it was 5 that you can complete, and you traverse through the world. You get to check out some of the combat, you get to check out a little bit of the leveling and equipment and things like that, and really get hands-on with it. Now, after playing the demo, I'm really disappointed. In fact, this game has gone really low down on my list, and this was initially going to be definitely I will be playing it, might even review it, but now I'm really debating on whether I actually want to spend my time or my money on this game. I'm so heavily disappointed by the demo, and for me it was really unremarkable, and the gameplay, the UI, everything was just a little bit messy, and I want to talk a little bit about my impressions and how I felt about it, having got hands-on with it. So let's kick off by talking about the graphics and the world of Athia. I do not feel that this demo showcased that world in the best way. For me, the landscapes that we got to see were pretty unremarkable. The different areas it could go to were pretty unremarkable. It didn't really scream to me, you know, the power of the PlayStation 5. We've had some incredibly gorgeous looking games. I mean, look at God of War Ragnarok recently, Horizon Forbidden West earlier in the year. You know, we can have some pretty incredible looking games in terms of art direction, and I feel that Forspoken really doesn't do it for me. It all looks a little bit bland. It all looks a little bit same. Even the different enemy types that you got to face, while they were varied and they were different and they each had different elemental weaknesses that you had to take advantage of with your magic, it really didn't do it for me. Even this kind of mini boss fight that you got to do against this crocodile, yeah, it just was a little bit lackluster, a little bit boring. So I'm not really blown away by the look, the visual style of this at all. Maybe as you play through the story, we'll get to visit cooler locations possibly. It's hard to give a full opinion on just, you know, a small segment of the demo. But the 2 biggest things that I have issues with are actually the combat. For me, obviously, I was kind of interested to play this because, you know, the idea of being able to wield magic is kind of exciting. You basically have access to 2 different types of magic. You have fire and kind of an earth-based magic. In that way, it reminded me a little bit of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And you can switch between different elemental magics using L1 and R1, which you have to kind of hold down together and then switch between it. Once you change to that magic, you have access to 4 different spells, which you can select by holding down R1 for the attack spells, and that will put it onto a shortcut wheel and you press right trigger or RT or R2 to basically unleash that. If you just tap it, it unleashes a light kind of attack. If you hold it down, it charges the move to do a little bit more damage. You also have support magic as well. This can be used to weaken enemies, to recover some health yourself, to tie and bind enemies down. And that again, you can select, I think, from 3 or 4, I think 3 different moves, and then that you connect to the shortcut button. If this is all sounding really convoluted and confusing, that's because it is. I think the way in which they have implemented the combat is really bad. I think you're constantly bringing up the wheel to switch between powers. Each of those powers also has a recharge, so you do find that you have to move to a different adjacent power. It just pulls you out of it. It does slow down time a little bit, you know, a la Mass Effect, but it really does stop the flow of the combat. And you definitely would want, you know, from the gameplay that we'd seen previously in trailers, you know, flow is very much key with Freya, you know, from your dodges and your dashes to your magical attacks. But I feel that they would have been much better suited had they perhaps had, you know, a wheel for different types of magic, and maybe those 4 spells that you have access to that you choose could then be connected to the different symbol buttons. So triangle, square, X, circle. They could have been mapped a little bit differently, perhaps a little bit more like, say, Mass Effect, where you can choose, you know, your favorite sort of spells that you want to use for a type of magic, and then just be able to very quickly and easily flick between them. And then maybe if you held down R1, then that would bring up a secondary wheel of 4 more spells that you could then select between, and that would make combat a lot faster, a lot smoother, a lot more fluid. Yeah, I feel like the UI in this game is really hindering it, really holding it back. And well, I like the idea of magic, and I like the idea of enemies that have different elemental weaknesses, and that's familiar territory for us all. It didn't really do it for me. So the combat was, I would say, average. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. You know, it wasn't completely broken, but it certainly wasn't as fluid or as cool or as satisfying as I would hope it would be. And that's really, really disappointing. The other main issue I had with this demo was the dialogue and the writing. You basically get to hear 2 main voices in this demo, which of course is our main protagonist, Frey, but also you get to hear the bangle that she has, you know, around her wrist, and they are constantly talking. I mean, they never frigging shut up. It got really irritating, to be fair, particularly when you have dialogue and writing where they're just constantly stating really obvious things and constantly pointing things out to you that you're already going to explore. It reminded me a little bit of Horizon Forbidden West in that way, because that game also had a similar problem where Aloy just wouldn't shut up, and sometimes it can get really, really annoying and really, really frustrating. The other thing I really disliked with the dialogue and the delivery is that both that, you know, Frey and this sentient bangle seem to have a really hateful relationship. There's this animosity between them that obviously you go into really cold in the demo. Like the bangle is really kind of cynical about everything and is really kind of just constantly criticizing Frey, and then Frey's really like, you know, throwing shots back at it. I think even at one point she called the bangle an asshole, and that just felt really irritating and annoying. It was like, well, not only am I not really enjoying the gameplay, but I really actually dislike both of these characters. I don't feel connected to them in any way. Obviously this is a snippet of you know, a segment of the game. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more development, you know, throughout. Hopefully, you know, this relationship between Frey and this magical bangle will develop, will grow. Hopefully, you know, that irritated side of things will soon pass. But the snippet that I heard, I really disliked it. I really disliked the writing. I found it just more irritating than anything else. So that has me a bit concerned with the dialogue, the writing, and the character that's being portrayed here. Frey wasn't particularly interesting in the demo. They really did not do a good job of showcasing snippets of everything that the game has to offer. They could have had a small segment where you're exploring a town and talking to NPCs and characters to show the role-playing dynamic of it and the story, and then they could have had a really cool combat, gameplay segment of it. The open world itself was really unremarkable. Again, it was just waypoints on a map that you could run to and you could explore. So the exploration in this open world wasn't particularly exciting or cool. So I have to say, having played it, I'm even less interested in Forspoken, and that makes me really sad, because this was a game I was really looking forward to. Now, are they going to reveal another demo? Is this it? Is this all we're going to get? Because the game obviously is coming out, in January. I think it comes out on the 24th of January, I think it is. So it's really not far away. And I feel that a lot of people that perhaps were on the fence and have picked up this demo are likely now potentially going to make that decision not to pick it up. I might see if I can get a review copy of the game potentially, so that I can review it for you guys, and obviously let you know if the whole finished package is much better. But I'm really on the fence about it. As I say, next year I've decided I do want to pick and choose the titles that I am going to cover on the channel a little bit more selectively, because obviously I do work full time, and this year I enjoyed what I did this year and all the content that came out, but you can get burnt out really easily. So picking and choosing the games I'm going to cover, because I am going to be doing more lore content next year, and that takes time, of course, so I won't be able to do as many reviews on titles, on games. I will play all the big things that I want to play next year, but I might not review every single one. But please do share in the comment section if this is a game that you would be interested in seeing covered on the channel, and you want to see my opinion on it when it does come out. Do feed that back to me. But yeah, let me know, have any of you played the demo for Forspoken, and what did you think of it? How did you feel about it? And please do share those comments. This of course is my own opinion. This is just my gut feelings having played it. It is really off the cuff. There's no script here, but I really did want to get those feelings out to you guys and share my thoughts on the game, having gotten hands on and played the demo recently. But is Forspoken a game that you're interested in or looking forward to? Are you planning to pick this up, or are you not interested? Do let me know in the comment section below. Please share your thoughts and feelings. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, thank you so much for watching the content and supporting the channel. Obviously, a special shout out to my Patreons and YouTube members for going the extra mile. I really couldn't continue to do what I do without your support, so it is massively appreciated. And if you do enjoy the content, please do like, comment, subscribe. Every little does really help the channel to grow, and my goal next year is to hopefully get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be amazing, so hopefully we can make that happen. But anyway, hope you guys of course are having a great week. Take care everybody, and as always, happy gaming. I should go.